We've got the big news coming out of Hollywood, the industry, that Kevin Feige, the godfather of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has been promoted over at Disney. So basically, this comes to us from Deadline. It says Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige adds Marvel Chief Creative Officer title. He'll oversee all creative and story initiatives. Now, for those of you out there that kind of are unfamiliar with Hollywood's executive structure, basically the Chief Creative Officer, CCO, is the guy who kind of oversees the I guess, creative end of all these movies. So in Disney, you have a guy named Alan Horn, who's the head of the Disney motion picture arm, and he's the chief creative officer over there. And he kind of has a co-chair with a guy who handles the more of the day-to-day business stuff while he handles the kind of overarching creative stuff. So Alan Horn looks over all the Pixar movies, all the Marvel movies, all the Star Wars movies, all the Disney movies, basically every movie that comes out of Disney, Alan Horn gets kind of like the final say on. And he's the guy who kind of shepherds each individual project and puts it out there. And he's been very successful in that position. And a while back, when it was announced that Kevin Feige was going to be taking over, or I should say, producing a Star Wars movie, I kind of put out a video and I speculated that he was being groomed to replace Alan Horn back when Bob Iger steps down. It's kind of widely believed that Horn is going to step down as well. And Kevin Feige is going to be put into his role as being the chief creative officer of all Disney films. And that his kind of foray into Star Wars and stuff like that was a precursor to this. And I think this is even more proof that that theory kind of holds a little bit of water, because as the chief creative officer of Marvel, he's basically doing Alan Horn's job, but for one aspect of the film universe. But this puts him in charge of the movies. This puts him in charge of all the Marvel TV shows. And it also puts him in charge of the publishing end of things. So basically, any comic book story, any new characters in the comic books, he has a say over. He gets the final approval or disapproval on that stuff, along with the TV series. It used to be that the Marvel TV production was under the Marvel Entertainment banner, which was separate from Marvel Studios. It was Marvel's publishing arm. And that's why you didn't see a whole lot of crossover between the movies and the TVs, because they were basically two different like units within the Marvel branch there. And they operated independently of one another. And what this does is it basically puts Marvel TV under Feige's control, along with Marvel movies and Marvel comic books. So he kind of has the overarching say on all this stuff. What do you guys think of this news? Let's start with, if he's still with us, Ruin the Man Baby.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of disappointed because I thought he might take over from Kathleen Kennedy. And yeah, I thought that was maybe the path he would go. And obviously doing what he's done with the Marvel universe, I thought, is the hope for Star Wars. Can he kind of carve out the future of Disney Star Wars and give us something better than the crap we've had so far? But am I right in saying his role doesn't encompass Lucasfilm? I believe he's got going to have some input over Disney Plus. Am I right, Matthew?
He's involved in Disney Plus only in so much as that Marvel Studios is creating TV shows and movies for it.
Oh, okay. So really, no input then on the Star Wars content.
No direct control on the Star Wars content or the Disney Plus content or anything like that.
Yeah. So disappointed personally. Obviously, my big interest being Star Wars, I would have liked to have him involved at that senior level, But yeah, look, good news for Marvel. He's done some really good stuff, and damn, why can't we have someone like that at Star Wars?
Well, if he does take over Alan Horn's position, he will be Kathleen Kennedy's boss. So there's always that.
But you will get you will get the Kevin Feige produced Star Wars film. Yes, if you guys heard about that, so that's going to be a thing. So,
well, didn't KK come out and say that she's planning on stepping down in 2021, or was that somebody else saying that?
I think that was a rumor.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, her contract was extended for 3 years last year, so that's maybe what you might be thinking of. Hey, what's up, Drunk?
We need to take a moment to welcome Go to the stream.
Hello.
Hey, Drunk. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
I just
kind of snuck in there. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I forgot to include you in the tweet that I just sent out.
Oh, no, I know.
You were
It's fine.
arriving.
I didn't know I was going to make it on. I got home a little bit early. Saw you guys were still going. And I was like, let me just hop in. And
Well, we pretty much just started. So I don't know if you caught what we were talking about, but we were talking about Kevin Feige's promotion to Chief Creative Officer at Marvel. And but before we get to your thoughts on that, Steven, the illustrator, what do you think of this development?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I thought he was going to be maybe taking over. So, you know, as long as Kathleen is still kind of in charge of everything, it's like, I don't think things will probably be improving anytime soon. So it'll be interesting to see like what he does, like if he does get a movie and how he handles the material and stuff. And I mean, one thing about Kevin Feige that I liked about the MCU, like I'm not the biggest MCU fan, but one thing I liked is how true he stayed to the source material as much as possible, and how he kind of meshed it all together and kept the consistent storyline going with all throughout all the movies over the last 10 years. So, you know, it would have been great if he had been in charge from the start. You know, it seems like they just kind of trampled on so much of the Star Wars lore now. It's hard to see.
Well, it's funny that you guys keep relating this to Star Wars.
That's what I was about to say.
Feige hasn't had anything to do with Star Wars for like over a decade.
Should I kind of jump in here since
we
this
want
is one of the things I'm prepared for?
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, what this signifies is we're gonna finally have synergy between television and movies when it comes to Marvel
and comics.
And comics obviously too. I don't know how far that's going to reach, but basically they're pushing Jeff Loeb out of the equation now. He's still there. I guess somebody at, I think it was comicbooknews.com, reached out to, I don't know who, because they didn't cite their source. They didn't even say it was an anonymous source. They just said that as far as they know, Jeff Loeb's still there. But basically he's doing nothing. What is he there for? Just to be a go-between. I think they're just waiting out his contract.
They might bring him in as like the head of the TV, and he'd report to Kevin Feige.
That's basically it. Yeah, he reports to Kevin now instead of Iger. Yeah. Or I mean Ike Perlmutter.
And also Dan Buckley is staying the head of He's the president of Marvel Entertainment. He's the guy who oversees the comics and the licensing and stuff like that. But his boss is now Kevin Feige.
And one person who doesn't really get a lot of credit would be Quesada. He's the creative director, and he's going to stay there too. Well,
he's the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics.
Yeah, I think so. But I think he has to do with actual both sides. I'm not 100% on that, but I mean, he's still around, and he's been a mainstay there for a long time.
Yeah, but he's also one of the reasons why Marvel Comics is in the state that it's in right now.
It could be. I can't argue with that. The other side of this is everybody's like, well, why would they do this? Everybody loved the Netflix shows. It's like, well, everybody loved 1.5 of the Netflix shows. And really, if you go look back at Jeff Loeb's record, that's all he's got. He's got 1.5 shows where he's probably just lucky that he happened to put the right people in control of those shows.
Yeah, Daredevil was really Stephen S. Knight's baby.
So basically what you have here is Kevin Feige taking ultimate control of the Marvel universe now. Like he's got every facet outside of him. I think the only one that's still in question is animation, which I don't think he really gives a shit about outside of the What If series. So And honestly, if that's the case, then that tells me he's in charge of animation too. Then, so here's what you got. He's like the ultimate, overseer now, and it's his shot to see if he's really what the wonderkin we always think he was. I mean, we've been accused more of being a Marvel shill since this news come out. It's like, what are we supposed to say? Just because a lot of people didn't care for Captain Marvel, you're supposed to just bash on this guy, considering his track record is, unheard of in Hollywood. Nobody can match it at this point. I mean, it's going to take a while to come up with another Kevin Feige.
He does have a good track record of kind of keeping a long ongoing series on track, which I think Kathleen Kennedy has obviously failed at. Proper, what do you think of this news, and how do you think it's going to affect Marvel going forward?
Well, I honestly think that, this is great news. I would like to congratulate Mr. Feige on his promotion. I really would, because as guys were just talking about, just out of one hiccup with Captain Marvel, really, and everyone just starts to hate on him for that. I mean, and you're going to forget about all of the other accomplishments that he has done for this cinematic universe. Like, 1 out of 23 films. I mean, you could argue if some of them were duds, though, but like one that people like really, really hate, and that's gonna, cloud your perception of his entire career and going forward. I think that's ridiculous. So far, he has proven that he is a good fit for Marvel. And I think it was, I forget which one who said it, but one of you guys said that it was a test to see, like, if he's. I think it was Tom who said it was a test to see, if he's really like the guy that we all think he is. I think that this is a step in a pretty. It's going to be an interesting direction if you are going to have both the like the movies, the TV shows, and you said the comics as well. This is for the whole company, correct?
This is for all of Marvel Entertainment.
Okay, all right. So this is an opportunity to have all of them connect together, and with all of these different, all of these things in place, it will be very interesting to see what direction they take from here. Because I know that there's been some criticism about the Marvel comics for quite some time. Is that correct? Like, people were not happy about it.
Yeah, this could see a change in the comics, but we don't know. Yeah, if they go to be more uniform in line with the movies and stuff, then it'll basically be what we expect, probably more so.
Yeah, but the downside of that, it'll be Marvel, I guess. It'll be the same thing that we've gotten for the last 10 years, but through all of Marvel. So that would be the only downside if you're not a fan of, like, the Marvel humor, or you don't like everything to be cookie cutter the same, because that's Disney, I guess, playing it safe for the most part, not taking too many risks, at least from my opinion, from my point of view. So I don't know. I've kind of mixed feelings on it, but now that I'm reflecting on it more, but overall, I think this is a net positive, and I'm excited for the direction that he chooses to take it.
Well, we want to thank Drunk 3PO from coming down from the Geeks and Gamers mountain and slumming it. So, Drunk, what do you think of this news? Do you think this is a good thing for Marvel, that Feige is now the overseer?
Yeah, this is good for Marvel, bad for Star Wars.
Why is it bad for Star Wars?
If he
Everyone's going back to Star Wars.
If he produces a Star Wars film, Star Wars is not Marvel. You can't do a Marvel type movie and put it into Star Wars. It's just completely different, different type movie, and it's just Star Wars. It was sad. Will never be anything exciting like it was for me since they offed off Luke. So, like, that's just where I'm at. But as far as Marvel goes, I kind of closed the book personally after Endgame. Like, I wasn't excited to go even see Spider-Man. I haven't even seen the new Spider-Man yet. I just kind of was like, I felt like the chapter was closed. The next phase coming, honestly, I'm just going to sit back and listen to you guys. If you guys go see the film and say, yeah, go see it, it's really good. No, don't go see it. And then that's probably where I'm going to be at. But I think him connecting all the dots a lot better with comics and movie. He's actually very smart about that aspect. So I think this is going to be great for Marvel in that line. I don't know about the next phase personally. I don't know. Nothing excites me, honestly. Like, it just doesn't. I don't know. It was just weird. Endgame came. I felt my 10 years, 11 years of excitement. I watched every single movie in those 10 years. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I loved them all. I really did. Some better than others, but I loved the sequence. I loved the journey. I hope he could find some of that magic again in the next phase, but I don't know. Hard to see. But I honestly, overall, good for Marvel. I think there's nobody better to be in charge there.
Hey, thanks for checking out this video. I hope you got a lot out of it. And remember, if you want to support the channel, please check us out on the socials. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Matthew Kadish. You can also find our discussion group over on Facebook at eggfbgroup.com. That's eggfbgroup.com. Takes you right to our Facebook discussion group. And if you'd like to help support the channel, check out my books over on Amazon.com. You can find them by going to kadishbooks.com. That's KADISH books.com. And as always, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video for more movie, TV, and entertainment news and analysis. This is Matthew Kadish. I'll catch you guys later.